welcome back everybody to another episode of That Scuffed Up. We have reached the 30 episode mark. We are finally here, 30 episodes into this series, and we have reached a huge milestone, more than halfway to 50. Let's make it 50. My partner Stephen Hayden is joining me here today. How are we doing today? Stephen Hayden in this month of November.
Alright, now we're good. Been waiting on that drink for a while. I've been sitting it there, and we feel good now. You know, so it was kind of an awkward week for awards this past week, but there were some awards handed out, and all the awards were announced online. So as you can see, they say two time over there, and also you can see him with the bat over there, one of one. So you know what? We're going to talk more about this later. But I got both of these. I got that trophy over there to add it to the collection. And I'm starting to run out of space on my room actually for all these awards. But that's a pretty good problem to have, you know. But we'll talk more about that later on. But other than that, we're doing good. Baseball's rolling, football's rolling, and things are getting going.
Yeah, I have a shelf that's pretty empty, so I gotta work on that a little bit.
You need to get some awards on your shelf.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Well, we got a pretty good episode for you guys. We're gonna talk about all the award winners that have received the awards. There's a lot of them this season because obviously we have divisions in the Purple League now. So a lot more awards that were handed out this time of year. We've also got different types of awards. Last season we had, cups and mugs. That was a thing. Now we have cups, mugs, bats, and plaques. So a lot more variety of awards there. But let's get right into things. We got week 2 results of the winter season here that we need to talk about before we move on to those award winners and congratulate them on their grand honor. But let's begin off with our usually scheduled program, which is talking about Division 1. First game on the sheet, LA Wolves OC versus the Trash Pandas. Trash Pandas coming off of a pretty good start to their season so far. Coming in here looking for a big win against their rivals, the LA Wolves OC. Unfortunately, they were down a few people and had some early on struggles and weren't able to get through with a win here. And the LA Wolves OC stand tall in their victory over the Trash Pandas, allowing them to move to their second victory of the season.
Yeah, very interesting result here. Obviously this was a matchup of the Fall World Series here. The Wolves of OC did play the Trash Pandas this previous World Series. As you can see, I have a plaque behind me. The Wolves of OC did win that World Series, but that's in the past, and this is in the now. There were a couple guys missing for the Trash Pandas. No Mo Wright. I know they were missing someone else, but I can't remember who it was. So not quite the full lineup we've seen from the Trash Pandas, but it was a pretty good game to start off with. It was 2-2 after 4 innings. And then all of a sudden, going into the 5th inning, Wolves of OC exploded. They scored 11 runs in the 5th inning, then 5 more in the 6th inning. And you got to see some different people work into the game. You saw all 4 of the Trash Pandas players pitch. You saw 4 players from the Wolves of OC pitch, including Justin Lee inside the spacesuit, which we'll talk more about that a little later about the Halloween stuff that went on, because there were a lot of people, and there were a good number of people in some sort of costume, especially from a certain few teams. But yeah, this was a very unexpected result, and a result I wouldn't exactly expect if these 2 teams played it later on. But it seemed that once Blake Fitzgerald was done with his 4 innings of pitching, we're just able to see the ball really well, whether it be off of Michael Haskup or Andrew Swanson or someone else like that. So, very, very weird result. I wouldn't expect to see that much again, but that's just the way it rolls. Unfortunate day for the Trash Pandas, but LOC gets started with a big victory here.
Certainly do, and we can talk about that Halloween stuff. This past weekend, or week I should say, on Tuesday was Halloween, so we had a Halloween themed type of style. People were in costumes, and a lot of people did show out in some great, fantastic costumes. You can check those out, or I can put some of those pictures up here of what we dressed up as. Stephen was an Amazon delivery guy. Myself, I was wearing an astronaut costume, which is pretty cool.
The sauna suit.
Yeah, on a suit. Yeah, and I mean, in this game, it was I hit a single with that thing on, and I couldn't see anything because that visor was all fogged up, and
Sure.
yeah, and then I also
Might have helped you hitting.
apparently it did. I don't know how that works, but I
Helped your
guess
pitching, helped your hitting. Let's talk about that for a second. Justin, you came out there with that sauna suit, aka
sauna suit.
the astronaut suit. And you did wear the visor in the later innings and did get a single with it, and then you actually pitched with it on. And actually did pretty well pitching. Did not allow a run, and you stopped a ball that you didn't even know you stopped. So, how difficult was that for you?
To be honest, I was just kind of was like, okay, I'm standing in this direction, so I have the ball, throw the ball in that direction. I had almost no sense of direction. I was just like, here, just throw it, and somehow magically found the zone a few times, and obviously made some of the hitters miss hit on some of those pitches, and got some outs from the defense. So thankful for them for to be able to catch that. And then obviously the final out was also kind of mysterious in its own way. I honestly, like, I genuinely had no idea that that ball was hit right to my legs and bounced off of my, I think, my right ankle, and just landed in front. And I put up the visor and I look around, I'm like, where'd the ball go? And they're like, you stopped it. I was like, what? So I honestly, I had no idea that any of that stuff happened, but it worked out and we got a good win, and starting off ERA for the season. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as we're recording this right now, speaking of ERA and stats, we unfortunately don't have the stats right now. They have not been put up on the website yet, so we're just going off our reactions from kind of seeing these games happen. But uh, hopefully we'll get those stats online sometime soon. And right now the fall stats are still up, which we'll all use a little later to talk about the award winners. But the schedule, the divisions are up, or the standings are up, I mean to say, for each division. So you can see each of those on the website if you click on league and then click on standings and schedule. But the game history is correct. You can see all the games wrapped up. That's what we use for this podcast, in case you guys didn't know. But just a very, very interesting game. I wouldn't be surprised to see these two teams play more competitive later on, because it's really the first time these two teams have played, and it hasn't really been a competitive. Right, it wasn't a competitive score at the end, because it was very competitive for the first 4 innings.
Yeah, it was very competitive the first 4 inning, low scoring, and then things started breaking up, a little bit more towards the end when they had their pitcher go out, and they were having some issues on that side of things. But credit to guys like Jordan Drexler and Dustin Staggs and Dominic Caroni for getting some of the bats rolling, and obviously Steven doing his same thing as well out there. So a great outing for sure. Well, the next game we have was actually interdivisional game between the Avocabros and Wiffle D's. So this will kind of involve both of the divisions that we've got here, because we less teams than we did a season ago. So we're gonna have some games where Division 1 and Division 2 are going to be playing each other throughout this season. So this is the first taste of what that looks like. Avocabros and Wiffle D's, more than expected, the Avocabros win this game 17-3 against the divisional team in Wiffle D's from Division 2, and Avocabros get another win that they need to help themselves reach the playoffs once again.
Yeah, first, this is something we were possibly going to have in the fall. Just schedule-wise, things didn't work out, so it's going to be happening more and more now. We have a couple of those from this week. We have a couple more for next week. I can think of it right away. Whoosh plays Trash Pandas this coming week, and also the OC Juicers play the OC Wiffles of LA. So those are a couple of those cross-division matchups. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised by the score of this one. I would have given Wiffle D's a good shot. They were just short of making it to the World Series in D2 this last year. But the Avocados, they came out swinging. They came out and really did a number on Wiffle D's. I'm a bit surprised with how big that run difference is, because I think there are certain days if these teams could if they played each other that Wiffle D's could beat Avocados, but obviously that was not the case. And it seems like the Avocados are improving on the pitching side as well. I had a few people talking about the improvements of a guy from the Avocados in Dan Lukac. I believe that or Lukac, I think it's how it's pronounced. I'm not totally sure, but I've seen a lot of improvement from him. A lot of different pitches that we haven't seen from him in the past. So it looks like he may be stepping into that ace role for the team and kind of being that main driving force for them. But so far, so good for the Avocados against Wiffle-Dees. And the Avocados did lose their first game. They went 1-1 the first week, I should say. But they come out here, and how this works, they still there will be a difference between the conference and the overall record. When we're getting to the tiebreaker rules, the first tiebreaker is going to be the conference record, so it's going to be playing teams in your own division, and then the second tiebreaker is going to be your overall record. So I know there's a thing out there that said that the cross division games don't count. They could possibly count in terms of the playoff situations, but for right now they don't matter as much.
Yeah, it's a different way that we're doing things this season, but it makes sense in terms of the tiebreaker stuff. Obviously taking in account of overall standings and what your record is at the end of the season, because now we're doing interdivisional play. For the Avocados, great signs for them, because I don't want to say it's a power grab, but obviously we are missing the Purple Huskies and the MS Warriors this season. So there's a grab to take whoever's going to be those top two teams this season. Those teams that have dominated the last two. And if Avocados can improve with the pitching, like we were talking about with Dan Lusak, I believe this is how you pronounce it. I apologize if I'm butchering that in any way possible. But for the Avocados, if that's something that they can improve on certainly this season, then they could become that other dominant team here. And we do have a lot of those dominant teams. I mean, we talked about earlier Trash Pandas, LA OC. OC Wiffle Ball. OC Whiffs are also an interesting team.
OC Wiffle Ball is pretty dominant in the OC Wiffle Ball League,
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams in there.
It's like it's the whole league.
Yeah. Well, anyways, moving on to the next game, though, we have Shepherd's Pie and Beach City Bombers. Beach City Bombers, a new look to themselves because they are missing Zach Moore, and they bring some new people in as well. Shepherd's Pie also a different look as well this season. They have some interesting players, just like we talked about last week. This is an extremely high-scoring game, actually, 18-15 double-digit scores in this game, but Beach City Bombers come away with a win for this.
Yeah, this game didn't go. In terms of the number of innings, I believe it only went through the top of the fifth. You get 33 runs. It's going to take a while, but I believe Anthony Agrusa had 3 grand slams in this game, if I'm not mistaken. For Shepherd's Pie, he's really getting that offense going for them. However, the Beach City Bombers offense was a little too much in this situation. You have a lot of those guys, Beach City Bombers, playing on their other team, the Beach City Dingers, as well in the Purple League. So I think they're able to see the ball a little more, they're able to play more games, they're able to adjust and be able to hit better. And in this game, obviously the bats were going off. It seems like they were Beach City Bombers and Shepherd's Pie were able to score off against any pitcher that they wanted to. If this game kept going to 6 innings, who knows what would have happened? But Beach City Bombers come away with their second win of the season. And I believe they got another game later coming up, which we'll talk more about in just a little bit. But good win for Beach City Bombers to put them up in the standings.
Certainly does, and it helps them, because I'm sure they want to come back and play in the World Series, so this definitely helps them as well, get some experience, and they have some people who are looking to help them out a little bit more, and that's certainly what we're looking for sure in this. Well, anyways, moving on to the next game that we've got. Avocados obviously came off of a victory against a Division II team in Wiffle-Dees. This time they take on the Trash Pandas, who just came off of a loss against the LA OC. So they're looking to bounce back on this day. They do indeed do that, in fact, but actually a pretty low-scoring game, close game that we've seen. usually not reminiscent of how we've seen the Avocados in recent seasons, but was a very interesting win for the Trash Pandas, but also very interesting to see that the Avocados actually held them in check a little bit.
Yeah, Trash Pandas, they kind of had to get themselves off the mat from that first game. It's a little demoralizing to give up 16 runs in 2 innings, which I have plenty of experience of in the past from my wiffle ball days when before I assembled the group that I have, when we'd sometimes have like 10, 11 run leads, and I'd be out of innings, and then we'd lose the game. But that's not important right now. But Trash Pandas were able to get themselves some hits and some home runs, and this is a very tight game. Trash Pandas were winning 4-3 going into the 6th inning. Avocados were able to get one across in the top of the 6th, and then Trash Pandas able to get 2 runs. I'm not sure if it was a walk-off home run or a walk-off hit that brought in those winning runs, but Trash Pandas able to get the job done. Avocados, the bats went a little quiet first compared to when they were playing with Ds, and that's going to be the difference makers for the Avocados. It seems like they're kind of on that threshold, but it doesn't seem like they're yet to get over the hump of to get over the teams such as the Yellow Wolves of OC, the Trash Pandas, and right now they're half a game behind the Beach City Bombers. So we're gonna see what happens with them, with the Avocados, as we continue on. But for the Trash Pandas, 3-1's not a bad start at all for them, and they got a couple more games this week. One of them being against the Division II runner-up from the fall in Whoosh. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shake out here. I'm looking forward to it and seeing how both of these teams continue and progress through the rest of the season, because they can both be contenders.
Yeah, they don't have to really go through the challenge of playing against the top 2 teams, like we mentioned before. And they have a chance to really pick up things this season. Like, I'm sure Trash Pandas, once Mo Wright comes back, if he does indeed this season, I'm sure there'll be an even stronger team with that extra arm in there, obviously, because he has got huge biceps. And then the Avocados, they're proving a little bit more, which is great. A great sign for them, because I know they've wanted to really get farther than they usually have been in the playoffs throughout these couple of seasons, these prior seasons. So if they can improve on that game even more this season, they have a good chance of really pushing the agenda a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. For both of these teams, they're in that mix, especially with the MS Warriors and Purple Huskies not being around for this season. At this point right now, the Yellow Wolves will see have kind of separated themselves as the number 1 team, which we'll talk more about them in just a little bit here. But it's really going to be a big competition for that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spots. There are teams in here that I see that would be able to fill those spots. It's just how they're going to be able to step up when it matters most during the regular season, and then is someone going to be able to take down the other we'll see in the playoffs. That's going to be very interesting to note.
Yeah, certainly will be. Well, the next game we can talk about here is the OC Wiffles of LA versus the Beach City Bombers. Beach City Bombers obviously coming off of a win. OC Wiffles of LA looking for their first win this season. They do, in fact, get their first win this season in a very close game. 10-11 was the final score. And usually we've seen OC Wiffles of LA be on the other side of these losses in some of the games that they had last season. But finally get a win here. They're able to finish one and get themselves the first win of the season.
Yeah, this was a heartbreaker here for the Beach City Bombers. I believe they're up 10-5 going into the bottom of the 6th inning, and Tyler Moore was out of innings, and so they had to rely on some of their other arms, and they were walking in guys left and right, and ended up letting in 6 runs. But good win for OC Wiffles. Now we saw Rookie of the Year James Lee out there for the first time since he won that award. Still doing very good things on the mound. He gave up a couple runs in this game, but we did see Ethan Lee back for the OC Wiffles of LA, both on the mound and at the plate, as well as David doing some work on the mound as well. Ethan did struggle a little bit in this first game here, but Dave was able to pick him up. And then offensively, it's really kind of the James Lee show right now for them. Ethan Raffman's been a great addition, being able to help them out. But for the Beach City Bombers, this is one you really want to have and wish you would have had back. Just based off the fact, especially the fact that you were up 5 runs going to the last inning, and maybe it's just a little bit of mismanagement with Tyler not being around for that, not being eligible for the pitch that last inning. So, these things happen. We'll see. And Beach City Bombers are still in a good spot right now. They're still. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about. Well, we already talked about their first game. I should say they came off a win, but they still sit in 2-2. They still sit in the third spot right now. So I think they're still in a good place as a team. However, they still have to play the we'll see this coming week. So we'll see what happens with that.
Certainly will do, and we'll keep track of those games as we always do. Moving on, we've got Shepherd's Pie taking on Whoosh. This is another one of those interdivision games between a team that was runner-up last season in the World Series of Division 2, and Shepherd's Pie was a team that just missed out on the playoffs, and they're coming off of a loss to Beach City Bombers. In this game, very interesting score, fairly close in this one, 11-9. Definitely seemed like Whoosh was giving them a run at their money, but Shepherd's Pie do close the game out, and they get their first victory of the season as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is a comeback victory for the Shepherd's Pie as well. Able to get their first victory on the season. They had lost that high-scoring affair in their first game to the Beach City Bombers, but for Shepherd's Pie, it's just going to be figuring out the defense and figuring out the pitching. The offense seems to be there. Anthony's off to a very hot start. If we had the stats from week one, we'd be able to. I think Anthony would probably be leading the league in home runs at this point. But we'll see what happens with that. But for Whoosh, wouldn't be disappointed with this result at all. As a message to the LOC second team, you guys are in a great spot in D2, and you're competing well with Shepherd's Pie, and we're almost able to pull it off. So I think they have a great sign for Division 2 once they continue to play that competition, because this is their one loss so far was to the Shepherd's Pie, but they've beaten every other team in their division so far. So we'll see how much of a good sign that leads to Whoosh potentially winning a World Series, but Shepherd's Pie does help them out in the overall record for the tiebreaker rules if it were to come down to that at the end.
Yeah, it would have been pretty heartbreaking, if they got a loss in this one. When you play a Division 2 team, obviously the expectation is that you're going to win against that team. But we know Whoosh is a very good offensive team. We know they came up runner-up last season. They're a pretty good comeback team. They do even have a chance to be considered a Division 1 team with the amount of talent that they have on their squad. But this is a great sign if you're a Whoosh fan. Even if they lost this game, they still got 2 wins. And it's also very early, so there's a lot more room for error, in that case early in this part of the season.
Yeah, they're off to a very good start, and I think they're kind of on a mission to make up for giving up that walk-off home run to lose the World Series. I know they got their ice cream and stuff, but I think they want to be able to make a comeback and possibly finish first in that division and be able to come away with that World Series title. We'll see how things shake out as we continue on.
Certainly. Now, the final Division 1 game on this Week 2 schedule that we've got is between two of the teams that know each other very well, one of them being the expansion team, but the OC Wiffles of LA versus the LA Wiffles of OC. That's a tongue twister. Playing each other in this game. Big scoring day for the LOs of OC. This was a great offensive showing for them against the formidable pitcher who we'll talk about, Rookie of the Year in James Lee. The final score 15-5 in this game.
Yeah, so there were a good number of award winners in this matchup here. Obviously, you had Rookie of the Year with James Lee of the OC Wolves of LA. And you got the other Wolves of OC, who in general they won the World Series, and you had Jordan with the Home Run Derby champ, and then I don't need to say anymore, but whatever that other loser won. But OC Wiffles did go off to a hot start. James Lee led off the game with a home run, and off the end of the bat home run, but a home run's a home run. And then the second inning, 3-2 count, 2 outs. James gets a jam shot home run that it seemed like Jordan wasn't quite ready for it and didn't read it correctly, and it went over the fence for a grand slam. So that they were up 5-0 pretty quickly. But as we got to the second inning, the other Wolves of OC really got the bats going, scoring 7th. 7 in the second inning. Then later on, they would score 4 in the 4th and the 5th inning. And the LOC would continue on to win this one by 10, which the LOC are off to an extremely hot start right now. 43 runs for, 7 runs against. That is very impressive. After a 3-0 start, this team is looking very good for the defending team. And Donna Crony switching teams from the OC Wolves of LA to LA was very interesting to see him play out there. But he's been doing great. He's been doing great things as well. But no, this game was a lot of. There was some lucky stuff, and then there was a lot of unlucky stuff. We saw some great plays. We saw a great play in the outfield from Evan Quiros, who Steven was kind of getting robbed the whole day.
That was a diving catch to steal your home run, yeah.
Yeah, it did rob me of a home run. It ended up making my average worse. I had a few hits that were robbed. That's I'd say 90% of the time are not robbed, but that's the way it goes. I've also had a lot of hits in the first week. Well, I had 2 hits in the first week. That should not have been hits, but it comes and it goes with this league, and the way the fielders are fielding in positions. So overall, this is a very fun game to play in. These as you said, 2 teams that know each other very well, and that showed some of the scoring. It seems that the OC Wolves of LA are able to hit Steven well, and at least James is, and he was able to get some home runs off of him. But overall, we'll see where they were able to get 7 off of James Lee of the Rookie of the Year. So. We'll see what implications this has for the future, but both these teams do look pretty strong right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't want to be too biased, but James Lee, obviously coming off a Rookie of the Year season, had 2 home runs in this one, looking really good. I mean, maybe the pitching was a little bit shaky, but then again, LOC's offense is also very strong. I also wanted to kind of spotlight Jordan, who was also really kicking it off early this season, having a really fantastic start to this season. But both of these teams, I gotta say, we always have a good time, especially because we know a lot of these guys a little bit more closely than other teams. So always fun to be able to play those guys as well. Obviously, my brother's on that team, so it's like that's a whole other thing.
And you're able to get a good home run knock off of him as well. I don't think he got out once against him when you faced him. But Ethan Lee did look better pitching in this game. Had a shutout in the first inning, and then he gave up 4 runs in the 4th inning and in the 5th inning. So, not bad for the OC Wolves of LA, but
he threw a 75-mile-an-hour pitch at me.
Well, welcome to my life.
You got hit in the head, dude.
Try and wear an 80 off your head, and then getting someone saying thinking it was a foul ball at first.
That's why I brought the astronaut helmet, so I didn't have to get hit in the head with like an 80-mile-per-hour.
You should have wore it.
He hit me in the side, and I was walking away too, and he still hit me.
I'll get better. But yeah, I think both these teams do stand a great chance when it comes to playoff time, but. For OC West, they just got to be able to secure the wins. They had a tough loss last week, but we were able to get a good win this previous week versus the Beach City Bombers. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake out. I think you see James Lee in the playoffs. He's going to be very tough to hit.
Certainly will be. Yeah, that's a guy to keep an eye out for. Well, that does it for Division 1. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Division 2, but those were tied in with Division 1 games. So there's only 2 Division 2 games that we need to talk about here a little bit. So let's get into that immediately. We've got Wiffle D's versus the OC Juicers. Both of these teams are starting off the season 0-1. So this was kind of up for grabs for them in this game. But Wiffle D's very dominant win, 19-3, a high-scoring game for Wiffle D's. They bring back a reason why they're also a very good team and maybe a contender for this year's Division 2 title.
Yeah, that they do. Very high scoring game for Wiffle D's. The Juicers are still working stuff out. They have some of the same players from the Pacific Thrashers this past fall. We are seeing improvements from the Juicers, and we'll talk about some more of those improvements in their second game as they are in the other D2 game. But we're still seeing good things from Wiffle D's as well. Off a little bit of a heartbreak, not making the World Series in the fall, and they had a tough first week matchup. They played Whoosh, if I'm not mistaken, and they did not win that game. Obviously, as they started 0-1. So Wiffle D's they bounced back from their big loss in the cross division game. We're able to get a good win here versus the OC Juicers. So Wiffle D's I still think are right in there for winning a World Series, and the OC Juicers, I think we're going to continue seeing improvement, and who knows what can happen with them.
Certainly, for sure. I mean, OC Juice are also a new team, so they're also trying to figure out their stride a little bit more. Obviously, Wiffle D's has more experience in this season, as they've been here for a couple seasons now already. So look out for them to really make a push here in this winter season, because no longer the OC Seals are here for now until they return later on.
Yeah, we'll see when they return. We'll talk more about the OC Seals a little later on, though.
Absolutely. We'll get those into the awards part, so stick around for that. The last game for Division 2, though, was between the team Whoosh, who we talked about earlier, playing against Shepherd's Pie, and then OC Juicers we just also talked about, coming off of a loss against Wiffle D's. In this game, it was actually a better game for the OC Juicers offense-wise, but just weren't able to get over the offensive hitting of Whoosh, who put up 18-11 over the OC Juicers, allowing Whoosh to get another victory on their season.
Yeah, that they were able to do as well. For Whoosh off to a good start. They had a tough loss versus Pacific Thrashers. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, but no, I mean Shepherd's Pie. I apologize. I'm getting names mixed up here, trying to find the correct game. But I'd say this is a much better sign for the OC Juicers here. Able to get the offense going versus Whoosh, who has guys like Drew playing, Donald Lecomte, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say this is a bad result for OC Juicers. I think they can be able to turn things around, and who knows what can happen once we get to the playoffs.
Certainly, for sure. And Whoosh, I mean, if they can put up a lot of good scores against teams like Shepherd's Pie and prove themselves a little bit more, then they're certainly going to be a great team to watch out, like you mentioned. OC Juicers, I mean, that's a great sign for them as well, offensively, because obviously they didn't have a whole lot of success against Wiffle D's, but being able to get success against Whoosh is also a great sign for a new team themselves as well. So it was great to see them out there.
Yeah.
Well, now we finished Division 2, we can move on to the Purple League, which actually only had one game this week because some of the teams were absent, because it is a Halloween night that this week 2 happened, so teams like the Glizzy Gladiators and We Got Spice, and who else?
Pancake Batters,
there we go. Weren't here for this one. So the teams that we had for here were the Beach City Dingers and Wiffle Does, obviously because their Division 2, Division 1 teams were there, so people were present for these games. So they showed up and played each other in this Purple League matchup. Beach City Dingers got the win over Wiffle Does, and they come away with their first victory of the season, 20-7.
Yeah, with this, a lot of teams always from Purple League are gone. If you're a Purple League fan, we have more games coming up this week. We have 4 of those lined up for this coming week. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in that. But Beach City Bombers really getting that offense going. Beach City Bombers, they scored 8 as a group. Some of those guys play for both teams. They scored 18 in game 1. Scored 10 in game 2, and then this game they scored 20. So able to get a lot of offense going, and we're able to do the job versus Wiffle Does here.
Certainly, for sure. We definitely did miss some of those other Purple League teams that just weren't able to make it there tonight. Would have really liked to see them in costume. Maybe the Glizzy Gliders would have shown up in hot dog costumes. I don't know if that was a thing that could have made sense. And then obviously there was a couple new teams as well in there. But for Beach City Dingers, it's a great win for them. And we'll keep an eye on what the rest of the Purple League does this coming week 3 as we approach here in November. Winter season is officially really, really begun.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Joey wearing a Justin Lee costume just because Joey does live free in Justin's head. I would have loved to see that, but and they're around the same height as well, so it would have worked out pretty well. But he was not there. Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition.
Yeah, I gotta work on that, but it's gonna be tough because
you can't work on the height. Sorry.
I can't work on the height for like 7 years, man. God didn't give me those traits, okay? No. But it's gonna be tough because Joey Ponder is not playing in Division 1. He's playing in Purple League, so maybe I'll have to start a Purple League team to be able to face him in that league and get him out of my head. So, unfortunately, he will be in my head for a full season. So, don't know what to do about that.
Just can't let him go.
I should charge him more, right?
Well, you don't charge him anything. You pay him to live there.
I should charge him at some point. Utility, like I'm sure he's using a lot more energy than I'm putting out there. Well, anyways. We have the award winners that we are now going to discuss. We are looking forward to week 3, but we had the awards, not really an award ceremony. We just gave out awards, and those were announced this weekend on OC Wiffle Ball's page. We have all the award winners here. We had predictions last week. If you didn't check out that episode, go check those out if you were mentioned in there, obviously. But we're going to mention you if you made those awards here right now. And we'll start off with Purple League award winner. So a little preview of what we've got here is that Purple League have 2 awards. Purple League Male Player of the Year and Purple League Female Player of the Year. So let's start off with the first guy that won Purple League Male Player of the Year, which was Kyle Frumer the Groomer.
No, don't say it. Don't actually say that. Oh my god. Just cut it back to just introduce Kyle Frumer as the winner.
So let's talk about the first award, the Purple League Male Player of the Year, which was in fact a friend of the show. Kyle Frume was our award winner for the first Purple League Male Player of the Year.
Yeah, this was a bit of an interesting choice here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to compare these results to what my predictions were. Me personally, in the prediction show last week, I had chosen Anthony Agrusa, but Kyle Frume did have a very good season as well. If I'm not mistaken, I had him in the. I did not have him in the Purple League first team. So, interesting choice there, but. Kyle Frume did have a very nice season. He had 24 hits. How many of those were? He had 7 singles. I believe he was up there in home runs as well. He was second in the league in Purple League in home runs with 11, while Anthony did lead the league with 21. Kyle Frume he also had some great defensive plays, as seen on some of the live streams and stuff in the past. But congratulations to Kyle Frume, my baseball coach as well. So I have to be careful with what I say here, but congratulations to him, and I think he did a great job here in the Purple League. He was able to balance the Purple League and in Division 1 pretty nicely. I want to quickly check what his Kyle Frume did have a 471 average in the Purple League as well. When you compare it to his Division 1 batting average, he was at 362. So I mean, the guy can hit. As clearly shown. So congratulations to Kyle.
Absolutely. Congratulations to him, and obviously his first award being a part of this league, which is also great. Our next award winner was the Purple League Female Player of the Year. Different from what you predicted, actually, which was Shelby Balin. But our winner here is Katie Shinrock, who we also did talk about last week in part of those predictions. So congratulations to Katie Shinrock, the first female Player of the Year for the Purple League.
Yeah, she was one that I did have on the Purple League first team. I had her as one of those names. I had her as the fourth name that I listed out. She did pretty well with I'm blanking on with the Pancake Batters. The Pancake Batters didn't have the greatest season record wise, but she did pretty well. In general, and with the Pancake Batters, she had a 13.64 ERA, 11 innings pitched, got a few strikeouts in there as well with 5, and then hitting wise, Katie did have a 435 average with a 539 on base percentage, 27 hits and 76 plate appearances, getting a few home runs in there as well. I think it was pretty close between Shelby and Katie. I personally chose Katie, but I personally chose Shelby as my prediction for the award winner. But congratulations to Katie for winning this.
Yeah, certainly. Congratulations to both of the award winners for the Purple League. The first ever Player of the Year awards for both male and female. And
Yeah.
obviously, we'll see who gets the ones for this season in the Winter Purple League because there's more teams now, so more chances to fight for those. But obviously, it's all for fun. So congrats to both of those people for getting those awards. And I think that's a great honor.
Yeah, and also congratulations to the Glizzy Gladiators for taking on the Purple League championship, World Series championship. They'll be getting one of those bats. They got one of those bats there. Unfortunately, Glizzy Gladiators nor the Pancake Batters were there, so that's kind of part of the reason we didn't really have an award ceremony. There were a lot of people that were not there, which we'll talk more about as we continue on with this. But congratulations to those two, and to the Glizzy Gladiators for winning that World Series win.
Yeah. And a little bit more. I mean, we were playing it on Halloween, so I'm sure it was difficult for some of those people to make it out there. And obviously, the Glizzy Gladiators team wasn't able to make it to those as well. So, but again, congrats. Now we've got Division 2 now. Those award winners that we'll talk about here. Obviously, we'll start off with the other awards before getting all the way to the top of the mountain with the MVP. So we'll start off with Manager of the Year, who turned out to be Ryan Lavelle of the OC Seals team, a brand new manager who brought in a new team, a lot of talent, and got the victory in the Division 2 World Series and got their first title in their first inaugural season.
Yeah, the first-time manager, he was able to flip things around from when he played on I'm blanking on the name of the team. I have to go back and look it up. I'm blanking on the name of the team he was on in his first. Oh, it was Adrian Hernandez Strike Zone, which he played on in his first season. Decided to become a manager himself and make his own team, and brought along a guy like Michael Vest from Division 2. From Adrian Hernandez Strike Zone, ended up being big, obviously, with Michael in that walk-off home run to win the World Series. First time manager was able to do great things, lead the team to a great record. I believe they finished 10-2, if I'm not mistaken. Overall, great job to Ryan Lavelle. We've had him on here a couple of times, so great job to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And also a friend of the show, he also gave us a lot of insight about Division 2 as well. So we are thankful for him for his insight as well, being a part of this show and giving us all of those inputs about all the teams. And give credit to him because we obviously we were trying to do our best to keep an eye out on those. But he gave a lot of credit to a lot of the players in Division 2 and gave them some high praise. So we appreciate him being able to help us out and also doing his thing with the OC Seals. So flap those flippers, baby. Our next award winner is also a part of the OC Seals, which was the Cy Young Award winner. This was actually pretty expected for how well he pitched this season. But our Cy Young Award winner was Zach Ireland of the OC Seals.
Yeah, Zach Ireland was extremely dominant here. 38 in the third innings pitched. A 1.57 ERA, had 95 strikeouts, only allowed 10 runs the whole year. Had a K per 6 rate of 14.88. Just some absolute great numbers here. Pitched extremely well, and possibly could have been a top pitcher in D1 if they been playing in D1 this past year. But very very well done to him, and congratulations.
Congratulations to him as well. And that won't be the only award the OC Seals do get, who we'll get to a little bit later as I'm kind of foreshadowing that. But Zach Ireland had an extremely dominant year this season, some astronomical numbers. He's also a pitching prospect at a college, D1 college. So hopefully they're not here this season, but hopefully they have a great season this year in the baseball world. And hopefully they'll come back eventually someday and compete once again in OC Wiffle Ball. And if he does end up coming into Division 1 as well, my gosh, it'll be tough to face against when he comes back.
Yeah, us personally, we got a chance to face him in the OC Wiffle Ball Summer Classic. While we were able to get a few runs off of him, he was very tough to hit, and kind of seeing him for the first time, Still just a senior in high school, and he's committed to USC to play ball there next year. So we'll see how things go. He's apparently able to get up to 90 miles an hour, 90 plus miles an hour on the mound just as a senior in high school. So We'll see if they do come back. He was in consideration for the MVP voting as well, but at the end he won the Cy Young Award. So congratulations, very nicely done to him.
Absolutely. Our next award winner was the Silver Slugger Award, which is given to one of the better hitters of the league, and that was Owen Schur of Whoosh. This was one of those people we also talked about last podcast. He had some great numbers, a great push towards the end of the season, was part of the reason why Whoosh kind of went on that great run to make it to the World Series, and well, unfortunately fell short of that, obviously, but congrats to Owen Schur on getting his Silver Slugger Award.
Yeah, he had a great offensive season. He was one of the top hitters in the league. It was third in average. He had a 500 average. If you look across the board, 500 average, 675 on base percentage. Had 12 home runs on the year, if I'm not mistaken. That was that led Division II in terms of home runs. So. Very effective at the plate. Only got out 27 times in 77 plate appearances. So, congratulations to him. And as they're my D2 team, I want to say congratulations for Whoosh and Owen Schur.
Yeah, did you get your trade stock there, or are you still waiting on that?
I got a little compensation for that award, but I need some. Me and Donald have had some internal discussions, so we're getting things sorted out.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get an announcement soon about that later. Well, before we move on to MVP, technically this person is actually a Division II player, so I wanted to highlight his name in this section since we're on Division II awards. So that would be the All-Star Game MVP, who was David Uribe of the 47ers, who turned out to be the All-Star Game MVP this past season. So congrats. The 47ers, a new team, get a new player, and that player becomes the All-Star Game MVP.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't see a whole lot about this All-Star game. I was gone in New York, Pennsylvania, and Justin was stuck in bed all day for whatever reason. But I'm kidding. But congratulations to David Uribe for winning that. Win that in your first time playing in the league. Congratulations to him.
Absolutely, and hopefully this 47ers have some. They'll come back around eventually. And our next award is their MVP award for the Division II. And this is also one that we debated a little bit between two different guys, but we talked about Zach Ireland earlier. So Braden Salzman was our MVP for Division II for the OC Seals. That's their third award. Well, technically their fourth if you count the World Series title as well. But their fourth award this season, this prior season. And Braden Salzman had a fantastic season, one to really highlight and mentioned much about what the performance that he had last season.
Yeah, he did very well and was named the MVP, both for his pitching and his offense. Pitching wise, he didn't have nearly the numbers that Zach Ireland had. However, he did have a 1.29 ERA in 9 1/3 innings pitched, had 18 strikeouts, only allowed 2 runs. Did very well for himself on the pitching side, but it was really the offense where he made a name for himself at a 600 average, a 699 on base percentage. Only walked 18 times, only got out 22 times. Had 10 home runs on the year, 20 singles, a couple doubles, and a triple. And overall, just a very hard out to get. 7 out of 10 times he's getting on base on average. So, congratulations to him for winning that award. We talked about it a bit last week as well. All these D2 predictions I did get correct. Unlike my Purple League predictions. So congratulations to Braden Salzman, and congratulations to the OC Seals for winning the D2 World Series. So obviously we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the podcast with Michael Weiss. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, congrats to them indeed, and they had a lot of great storylines this season. A team we will be waiting for when they return to Division II or Division I, whichever that will be, and we wait for their arrival once again. But congratulations to all of our award winners in Division II. We had some great people in that Division II last season, and it was great to see all those teams competing against each other. Now we move on to our Division One awards, the big ones of the day on our podcast, and let's start off with actually an award that the OC. LA Wolves, the OC, did not get during the summer season, and they finally got that award. It's the OC's Wiffle Ball Summer Classic Award that was received on this last Tuesday. Steven can show you what that award looks like. There we go. Nice wooden bat. You got the words on there, the Summer Wiffle Ball Classic and everything like that. So finally got that award for the guys who were out there. We had Jordan Drexler, Dustin Staggs, Stephen Hayden, myself, my two brothers, Chris and Ethan, a part of that championship team, and finally got our award and the recognition that we were waiting for with that award.
Yeah, this is also a very similar award to what the Purple League and Division 2 winners will get. Also was given out to another award winner that we'll talk about in just a minute, but we talked about this enough. It was good to finally get that award.
Yeah, it was great to finally see them. I know my brother was talking about it for a while. I was wondering, like, where's our award? And we finally got it after a couple of months of waiting. So pretty sweet to see that award is now in our hands. So great to see that, of course. Our next...
Well, in my hands, at least.
Yeah, it's not on my shelf. My shelf is still empty. Well, this next award was an award that was introduced last season. Yeah. The Relief Pitcher of the Year award. Last season we had Drake Hoffman win this award, if I remember correct. And he was the Relief Pitcher of the Year last season. This time it is actually True Hendrickson that comes away with this Relief Pitcher of the Year award.
Yeah, True had a great season pitching wise. This kind of seemed like the Purple Huskies award in terms of since this award's been introduced, it's been awarded to Purple Huskies players. First season it was given to Drake Hoffman for his contributions, and then this season it was given to True Hendrickson. Had a 3.19 ERA, 26 in the third innings pitched, 38 strikeouts, only allowed 14 runs on the whole year. Was second in the league in ERA and was one of the one of his K per 9 is one of the better ones in the league as well. Very good pitching season. He did miss some time, which caused Drake Hoffman to bump above him in innings pitched. Otherwise, True would have been in that Cy Young conversation. But congratulations to True for winning this award. We'll see when he comes back exactly. He's not currently in the league right now, but he's been a long-time member of this league. Been here since the beginning. Has won a fair number of awards. Won 2 MVPs. Was the first ever person to win 2 MVPs. Won a Cy Young previously. Also won a World Series with the Wise Guys back in the fall of 2022. So we'll see. We'll see if he were to come back. We'll see where things go for him.
Yeah, he's a great individual player. Also a friend of ours that we talked to plenty of times throughout the seasons that we've played here as well. Great individual person and pretty deserving of this award to say the least. And he had a great season. He's got an accolade. He probably has the same a pretty big shelf like yours, Steven. So
he's won his fair share of awards as well. We'll discuss my my shelf in a little while, but he's had a lot of awards that he's won, and won them pretty early and pretty often as well. He's been a consistent winner throughout the time here. He's won his. It took him a season or two to be able to win that first award, but once we got to the summer, is when he really exploded, winning that first MVP. From that time, he nearly won an award pretty much every season. So, congratulations to him.
Certainly. Now, our next guy is actually somebody we already talked about in a few podcasts ago when he won his award, but this was the Home Run Derby champion, Jordan Drexler, who got his award as well. Actually, his award was also similar to the OC Summer Classic Award, so they got the same bat. Obviously, the only difference is that it says Home Run Derby champion on there. But again, highlighting that he got that award, and congratulations, the first Home Run Derby winner in OC or LA Wolves OC history.
Yeah, because I'm not very good at Home Run Derbies, but that's another story. But congratulations to him. We talked about him enough, and he's also off to a very hot start. As in the middle of recording this, the the winter stats finally came out.
Always when we're doing these things.
Yeah, and he had a very big week last week, as we mentioned. He's second in the league right now with 6 home runs, just behind Tyler Moore, who's off to a very good start with 9. Actually, I take it back. Jordan has 5 home runs. Well, he's tied for second, whereas Tyler Moore has 9 home runs so far in the year. So, we'll see how things keep going as we go along. But congratulations to Jordan. We talked about him enough in the past.
Certainly. Now, this next award winner was the Rookie of the Year, who we also mentioned a little bit as well. James Lee getting his Rookie of the Year, a guy who had a lot of experience in a different league coming in here. Shows off, I'm sure everybody's seen the YouTube videos by now, but the ways he can throw the ball in so many different ways, and also the batting was also there for him as well, and he had a great season in his first season, a part of OC Wiffle Ball, and is part of that headline of the OC Wiffles of LA, and one of the most integral pieces of their team that they definitely need if they want to have great success this season. But congrats to James Lee on getting Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, James Lee was great both on the mound and at the plate. A very integral part of the OC Wolves of LA. Was recently named the co-captain going forward into this winter season, and we'll see how his role is in the future. But for the fall season, had a 5.34 ERA, 39 in the third innings pitched, 76 strikeouts, and only 35 runs allowed, and was allowing less than a run per game. Leaderboards, he was one of the top players in terms of innings pitched. Was third in the league in strikeouts. Just very good on the mound. And then offensively, you could debate he was even better at the plate. Had a 480 average and a 618 on base percentage. Both of those were second in the league, behind another guy we'll talk about later. Also had 9 home runs on the year, 24 hits, 5 singles, 5 doubles, 5 triples, and couldn't make that up. And then 9 home runs on the year. You look at his advanced numbers; they are very good as well. Was in consideration for the MVP, but I don't think there's any doubts that anyone else would be chosen over him for Rookie of the Year, certainly. So, he got a special award as well. He didn't get a bat or a plaque or a mug. He was the only person to get, I believe it was a bottle cap opener, which just be careful with that, James. You don't want to you want to use that. You want to use that for your sodas and stuff. Not wait till you're 21 to use it for something else, and then you can go around showing it off and saying, "Hey, oh yeah, I was a Rookie of the Year in this campaign back in my day." So, congratulations to James.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little award to have, the way that it's used. Obviously, yeah, just use it for bottled drinks like Coke and Sprite. Don't use it for for the big boys drinks. You can wait on that until you're 21 or whatever in college. But I think that's a nice little award.
Wow, are you promoting underage drinking in college?
What are you talking about, man? I said when he's over 21, dude.
You said college. Wow.
In college.
All right, James, don't listen to this guy. He may have the same last name as you, but you're not related.
My brother.
Don't worry.
Some people think he's my brother. He's not my brother, dude. The guy does not really look like any of us.
Wow.
Well, in terms of James Award, there wasn't that many rookies this season, but I think if you put him in a spot where we had a lot of rookies, like the year, Dylan and Dre came into the league, and then we had a lot of those other award winners as well, and I think he definitely could have really competed with some of those names in there too. So he had a really good season this year, if you compare it to a lot of those other players that had MVP seasons and Rookie of the Year seasons.
Yeah, in my mind, in my opinion, I think he was either second or third for the MVP voting. I think he just missed out to a guy we'll talk about later on, but looking for more big things from James in the future. So we're looking forward to us and we meet with the organization of the Wolves of OC, as he's on the OC Wolves of LA team in the organization. We are looking forward to seeing what he continues to do.
Absolutely. Our next award here is Manager of the Year. This was actually given to the manager of the Trash Pandas, in Andrew Swanson, who helped his team get to their first playoff or World Series appearance against the LA Wilson OC. Obviously, they fell short in their first appearance and became runner-up in Division One title game. And but to Andrew Swanson, they brought together this team from a season ago after coming in here in the summer. They started off very rocky, actually made their first playoff appearance, beat the LA Wilson OC. Then they come back this previous season and face again the LA Wilson OC, but the LA Wilson of OC prevailed. But Andrew Swanson put together a very solid team, and they're also a contender in this winter season. So congratulations to Andrew Swanson on Manager of the Year.
Yeah, for Andrew Swanson, congratulations to him. Yeah, as you mentioned, they were able to get to the World Series for the very first time. They finished fourth in the regular season, and we saw the improvements really start in the middle of in the summer of 2023 season. At one point, I think they were 1-6, and they were last in the standings out of 12 teams. They worked their way all the way up to become the 6th seed. They beat the Louisville C in a playoff game, and then they did get swept by the eventual champions, beat Shitty Bombers. But this season they were able to do great things. Record wise, they had a 5-7 record in the regular season, which isn't the best. But once they got to the playoffs, they had 3 straight wins, including sweeping the number 1 overall seed. But in the previous 2 regular seasons, had only lost 1 game, and so they were able to keep the bats of the Purple Huskies quiet. And this is a team that really just works well together. I wasn't totally sure who the manager of the Trash Pandas was at first, because they all just work really together cohesively as a group. And Andrew Swanson is very much a representation of that. Letting his players help him out with stuff, and just doing a very job keeping guys organized. Drake Hoffman was another guy that was very much in consideration for this award, but. I think this is a very deserved award for Andrew Swanson, so congratulations to him.
Certainly, and he had a great season this year, and one of those individuals, like you said, they work cohesively, so a lot of them kind of really could have spread this award around to a couple of different people, because they are basically just a bunch of good friends, having a good time out there. So, to all of them, they had a great season. Our next award winner is the Silver Slugger Award. This was given to another guy who we know very well, and Hayden Hendrickson, who his brother just won the Reliever of the Year award. His brother Hayden gets the Silver Slugger, so the award with the better batting in this. So congratulations to Hayden Hendrickson on getting another award that he has gotten out of the awards that he's gotten in his career throughout this tenure in OC Wiffle Ball.
Yeah, I know another guy very similar to True. Well, I also say very similar because they're related. They are brothers. So, another guy with a lot of awards to his name. He has some hitting awards. Does have a World Series title to his name from the summer 2023 season with Scared Hitless. I believe it was Scared Hitless at the time they won it. I'd have to make sure on that. It might have still been Trailer Park Boys at that point, but. Hayden Hendrickson had a very good offensive season. Was one of the top home run. He was third in batting average, and also third in on base percentage, just behind James Lee and Stephen Hayden. And his power numbers, you look at a lot of those advanced stats. He's either first or second in a lot of those a lot of those weighted stats. Slugging percentage, he was also second as well, just behind James Lee. So. Was in that consideration for the MVP voting, but I think his offense definitely granted him an award. It could have been either Silver Slugger or Hank Aaron, but Silver Slugger it is for Hayden Hendrickson, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, the guy also has a pretty beefed up shelf as well. Obviously, he's been a home run derby champion for 3 straight. He's obviously we're going to be missing him this season, but he had a great overall season as well. He was also part of that MVP conversation a little bit as well, but obviously the guy who did end up winning it had some better stat lines in that part. But Hayden also had another great offensive year this previous season, so congrats to him on winning that award.
Yeah, he won a Hank Aaron Award in the very first season, the fall 2021. Obviously, you mentioned those 3 straight back-to-back home run derby champion awards. Also in the fall of 2022, uh, he won the Silver Slugger Award there as well, with Scared Hitless, and then he had another award. I believe he had if I'm not mistaken, he had a Summer Award as well, which I can't remember for sure. But overall, very good season for him, hitting wise. Even pitching wise was good for him, but especially hitting wise, it was a very good season for Shayton. And when he comes back, he will be a feared player again in the league.
Certainly, we are always him and his brother are always that duo that is extremely dangerous. And another extremely crazy duo would be the Hoffman brothers, and we'll talk about one of them a little bit later. But this next award was the Hank Aaron Award. This is also an offensive award for overall best hitter in the league. You had a prediction of who this person would be, but it ended up being the teammate of this individual, which was Hayden Higger, who actually ended up with the most home runs in the league this previous season, getting his first award. Or big award, I should say, and the Hank Aaron Award. And Hayden Higger gets his second award, being part of this OC Wiffle Ball League.
Yeah. I just do want to clarify real quickly, just to make sure, give credit to Ryan Swanson, who did lead the league in home runs this past season. But Hayden Higger was right there. He was just one behind him, finished in second place.
Oh, okay.
You talked about my prediction. I predicted Lucas Sardo would win this award. Lucas had a 410 batting average with a 586 on base percentage. Was fourth in both of those. But Hayden Higger had a 377 batting average, 494 on base percentage. Had more home runs than Lucas Sardo. So I think it was very close between these two. Like I said, I predicted Lucas was going to win this award. Lucas, who did win a hitting award in the summer season, and also Hayden Higger, who won Rookie of the Year. It would be the spring 2023 is when he won the spring the Rookie of the Year awards. So, congratulations to Hayden for winning this. It's a great first name.
Certainly, and Avocabros usually do very good at hitting offensively, and obviously this is an award deserved for a guy like Hayden Higger, who did win a Rookie of the Year a couple seasons ago. And for the Avocabros, they're looking to get their next, or at least their first appearance in the World Series. They've appeared in the playoffs a couple of times already, so this is a great sign for them as well, and certainly, hopefully, they'll do some great things. He was one of the picks too for the second team All-American for Division One that you had on there. So congrats to him on getting the Hank Aaron Award. That's a big award to receive.
Yeah, it is. Go from Rookie of the Year, then have a season off where you don't win an award, and then come back and get Hank Aaron's is very nice indeed, especially with this Division One, Division Two separation. We saw it was a lot harder for guys to hit and a lot lower numbers than in the past. So congratulations to him. For the Avocabros in general, they're just looking to get over that hump. They've been in the playoffs twice, haven't won a playoff game yet. So we'll see if this is the season that they're able to do that.
Certainly so. Our next award winner is the Cy Young Award winner, who this award has been won by a guy two back-to-back years, but this time the latter is the Drake Hoffman. His twin brother gets this award for the Cy Young this season. This is his first time getting the Cy Young Award, and he had a really good pitching outing. We saw some signs of it a few seasons ago, doing some great pitching, but just didn't have the longevity in those stats to really say he would have been the definite Cy Young Award winner. But this time he does end up getting the Cy Young Award for his efforts last season, and he was an integral piece of why that team was also very successful.
Yeah, he pitched very well. He won the relief pitcher of the year the previous season, but this season he was very good as well. 1.69 ERA, 32 innings pitched, 56 strikeouts, with only allowing 9 runs the whole year. Very very good on the mound. Last season he might have been the Cy Young winner had he had the innings pitched, but last season he was third in innings pitched on his own team. This year he was first on his own team in front of guys such as True Hendrickson and Joey Ponder. And then, obviously we talked about Kyle Froome earlier, but he doesn't pitch, so you don't have to worry about him. But congratulations to Drake Hoffman when he comes back. We've seen the pitching from him just get better and better throughout each season. I remember that we're playing him in his very first game. We scored 8 runs off him in the first inning. Just a lot of walks, and then I had a grand slam off of him. So we've seen his pitching improve each season. He had something new, has more variety than someone like Dylan. And this season, Drake had the better numbers this year and was able to win that Cy Young. So when he comes back, he's going to be a feared pitcher, as well as his bat was starting to improve as well from the previous season. So when he does come back, we will be very interested to see how he does with the new landscape of the league.
Yeah, certainly. There's been a lot of changes this season, but for Drake Hoffman to get that award, none better than to get that. Obviously, he got Relief Pitcher of the Year the prior season, and now he gets the big one, which is the Cy Young Award. So congrats to him on getting that award for his shelf as well. Another guy we will talk about with the shelf, like we did to earlier, but this is the big one, the MVP award winner. This is obviously the biggest one. We had a debate, but the debate is no longer there. Stephen Hayden, back-to-back MVP award winner. Here he is, presented to you. Boo, he's got 2 of them. WTF.
Yeah, here she is right here.
Put the other
back-to-back. I do have the other one. Obviously, I have the other one.
Oh, look at that.
Back-to-back. Summer in this hand, the fall in this hand. You can see there's a little bit of difference in these, but we talked about it last week. We both said we thought it would be me. It was a little closer for you than it was for me. But I'm if looking at the stats here, Steven was first in the total number of hits. In terms of singles, he was up there in doubles and triples. Home runs, he wasn't as much up there, but on base percentage, Steven was first. And then pitching wise, Steven had some very good pitching numbers as well. 3.60 ERA, 28 in the third innings pitched, 58 strikeouts, 17 runs allowed. Had a K through 9 of 12.30, which was one of the top K through 9s in the league. I'm not sure we kept track of that stat in terms of the leaderboards, but that's all right. But just the way he's able to lead the OLC and be able to contribute so much on the mound. And I think the biggest point this just sounds awful coming from me, but who cares? I think one of the biggest things for him was being able to step back and let other people do a lot of the work. Every person on the LOC pitched a little bit at least. Justin did only contribute to 2/3 of an inning, but he did pitch a couple of times. But every person on the team pitched. Steven the LOC went into the season with 4 pitchers. One of them brand new, one of them returning after not playing for a couple seasons, and then he still had himself and Jordan. Steven was able to work around the innings and kind of balance things out. Steven had 28 innings pitched. Jordan had 19. Dustin had 14. Greg had 9. And some of those other numbers might have been bigger had those guys not missed some time. But I think this MVP was deserved. I've heard from a lot of people they thought it was me. They thought it was me easily. And you look at the hitting numbers, just the consistent contact. Leading led the league in hits by 4. Led the league in singles by a lot. I had 12 more singles than the next closest person, which was a few people tied with 13 singles. It's 4 ahead of hits compared to shaded. Especially as we go to this new D1. We talk about the league average in the average for the league was 280, and Steven had a 522 batting average. The only person above 500, and then 42 points above second place in batting average, which was James Lee from the OC Wolves of LA. So I think this was deserved, and this also breaks a curse that we've had in this league, where before this season, There have been 7 times an MVP award was given out. Was it 7? No, it's 6. There have been 6 times an MVP award has been given out. The first was to Anthony. The second was to Joe Harkey. The third was to True Hendrickson, then Dylan Hoffman, True Hendrickson again, and then myself. In those first 6 seasons, those teams that had the MVP on it going into the playoffs won a combined 1 playoff game, which was True Hendrickson in the spring 2023 with the Wise Guys. They won one playoff game. Other than that, all those other teams with the MVP, they were not able to win a playoff game. When you compare that to the fall of 2023, in which Steven won the MVP, his team obviously won the World Series. They went 5-0 in the playoffs. So that puts 5 more wins real quickly on that MVP winning total. So I think it was the stuff on the field that he did that was obviously great, but then the stuff off the field in terms of balancing things and making sure everyone's happy and as happy as they can. Their roles has been a real key thing. So I appreciate the honor. It's great to get my second one in a row, and it's been great to play other styles of football, such as the SoCal League and fast pitch. I think those have been great additions to really help me expand on my game and improve my hitting, improve my eye. I think it's translated really well over into this league, and obviously the pitching is still there. So, what are your thoughts? If you're not bored out of your mind already.
You kind of took my points already, because I was definitely going to mention about the whole MVP not winning a World Series, but obviously that trend is already broken. The other trend that was also broken was the fact that when we were in the 3rd seed, we'd lose. But this time it was a different storyline. But I think it's a great credit to show, just how one person can affect a game in itself. And obviously your back-to-back seasons have also been fantastic. There's a great reason for that. Very interesting, though, that this first part of the season, though, is a little bit different, because a lot of the guys who were struggling at the beginning of the season last season are starting to have a really great start, to help out the back-to-back MVP there as well. So great to see that. Obviously Aaron Rodgers didn't have that kind of help, so this is a great storyline to pay attention to if you're a fan of the LA Wiffles of OC. But just a testament of how great. The amount of stuff that you do outside of OC Wiffle Ball as well definitely also helps as well. But able to adjust to a lot of different things, playing baseball, playing fast pitch wiffle ball, and then obviously this league's wiffle ball is also a huge thing as well. So I think it's very well deserved. Who knows? Maybe a 3rd one is in the wraps. I don't think we've ever seen a triple back-to-back MVP winner ever.
Well, it's also our first time with a back-to-back MVP in general. Mm-hmm. True was the only 2-time winner. He won twice, but there was a season in between in which Dylan Hoffman won the MVP in the fall of 2022. But we talked a little bit about the trophy show. First off, we'll see as an organization, this is the 3rd time they've had an MVP winner. I mentioned Joe Harkey from the spring 2022 season. He won the MVP in the 2nd ever season of the league, which is debatable. Maybe it could have been me. I thought maybe I felt like I got robbed a little bit, but Joe was also very deserving as well of it. Had a great hitting season he did, but we'll see now the most MVPs in the league given to a certain franchise, and then we talked about the. We talk about the size of the shelf. I took home 3 different awards this past week. Obviously, the MVP we showed. Obviously, the bats for the summer championship or the summer classic tour we showed, and then also I have my World Series plaque. 2nd time winning a World Series, and if I'm looking at my shelf correctly, which actually sits right above me. I believe I now have 9 awards that I have won through OC Wiffle Ball. So we'll see if I'm able to. I believe that makes me the person with the most awards in the league all time. I'm not totally sure on that.
Hey, save some for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you get better, Justin, you can take one of these. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Um, it's been a lot of work just trying to balance stuff with this league and all the other styles of play, along with baseball, along with coaching and work and things like that. So it's and along with doing this podcast as well. So lot of things are real busy with this. But it's nothing it's something I wouldn't trade for the world. It's been football's been something I've been looking to get into more, starting back in 2019, where I would just go to a park and throw by myself, and then finally some leagues started popping up, such as this league and the SoCal Football League, and things really expanded from there. And then all of a sudden, within the past month, I made two trips outside this. One to the other side of the country and one to Arizona to play football. So it's one of those, who would have thought this thing would be as big as it is, and I'm trying to help grow that. So appreciate the award, and hopefully we will. Hopefully I can add on with my 10th award as we go into the winter 2023 season.
Yes, sir. And all like we already discussed, obviously LA Wolves of OC get their award as well for the World Series win. You just showed it earlier, and that's basically all the awards that were given out this past week. So once again, congratulations to all the award winners who got those physical pieces on their shelves and expanded the bigger shelf.
Yeah, I should say as well. The LA Wolves of OC, they win their second title. Just talking about them as a team, they win their second title, and now puts them. Tied for the most titles in the league. We had like the Trailer Park Boys. They won two. They won two back to back, and then you had the Wise Guys who won in the fall of 2021 and fall of 2022. And then since then since that point we've had us win twice. Kind of even that up. We'll see if we're able to do it for a third time, or maybe we'll have another team that wins two. The Beach City Bombers, they won in the summer of 2023. Maybe they're able to make a comeback and win their second award, their second World Series trophy. So we'll see how things shake out. It's funny enough, those two teams play each other this coming week at 8:30. So we'll see how things go. But right now, things are looking pretty good. Hopefully I'll be able to win another award, and hopefully I'll be able to win a SoCal Wiffle Award at some point. So I think things are looking good from here. Things are looking good for the other Wolves of OC.
It certainly does. I mean, I'll talk about the story a little bit behind the team. Obviously LA Wolves of OC wasn't even supposed to be the name. It was just kind of given, and it was part of an expansion team initially, and it's now become kind of a household name in the league.
Yeah. I think I might have talked about this on the podcast before, but LA Wolves of OC, we started out as a free agent team. It was just 5-6 guys that just kind of came out there to play and to form a team. We had a very good first season. Did not win a playoff game though. And then from that point on, I took over as the captain. Used some of the same guys from the past. Used a lot of free agents from the past. That's why I talk about Whoosh meeting compensation for Whoosh. Because guys like Nick Yusoff and Ryan Miller, they started with me. Donald LeCompte didn't start with me, but he was with me for that summer season for a few weeks before he had to go travel, and then he left. And once we got to that fall season, I started adding a couple more guys. That's when I added Justin Lee and added Austin Cutter. Brought in my sister Brenna, and also had Ryan Miller and Nick Yusoff still on the team. And once we got to the spring season, when Ryan and Nick left, I was able to bring in a couple different pieces even as well. That was when we first brought in Jordan into the mix. Brenna left. We brought in Ethan Lee. We brought in Dominic Caroni. And that led to great things, winning the championship in the spring 2023, which we have to talk about this at some point. That may have been the best playoff run we've seen in OC football history, but that's a discussion for another time. And then we expanded a little further, got Dylan Menji in the summer 2023. And then the biggest expansion, obviously, was this fall season, was splitting up into two teams, adding multiple guys from other areas, such as Dustin Staggs and James Lee, bringing back a guy like Greg Gualtieri. We tried to bring Joaquin back for the second team, but things didn't work out with him. Still being able to divide up into two teams and being able to win a championship is a very cool thing as well. So glad to get that done. Sorry for boring you guys with more talk about myself and my team.
I like the story. I mean,
of course you do. You're on my team.
I'm sure it's a great story for a lot of people because it wasn't really meant to be, how big of a household name it's become. So I think it's great to have it on the show no matter what.
Yeah, and before I was looking to change the name. Once I was named the captain, I just couldn't think of a better name, and now it's kind of stuck around, and it's worked around. We've added jerseys. We now have an alternate jersey. Uh, we've had some headbands. I don't know if people saw of those. Those were introduced worn by Justin and I during the fall 2023 playoffs. So those headbands haven't lost a game yet. So we're looking to do more great things with the LA Wolves of OC inside of OC Wiffle Ball.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations to all the award winners this past season. We had a lot of them, a lot of great awards out there, and I guess we'll see who we get this winter season. Obviously, the winter season is a brand new thing to the league. We've never had a winter season before, and we are going to get more names before the end of 2023. So, congratulations.
Yeah, that we are. So we're looking forward to continue the growth of the league. Speaking of growth in the league, it was just announced. If you go to the registration, if you go to the sign up and the registration tab on the OC Wiffle Ball website, you can now sign up for the winter 2023 golf tournament. That looks like that'll be taking place at Strawberry Field Farms Golf Club again. It looks like it's going to be on December 13th. December 16th, starting at 11:30 a.m. Same rules as some in the past. The teams of two players, best ball scramble. And it looks like I believe I saw some stuff about some winning as well. You get $400. You get $400 cash prize for the winning team. Free shirts for the second team. There will be some memorabilia that gets raffled off as well at the end. I remember in the summer tournaments, Justin, I didn't do very well in the tournament, but I did win one of the raffles. So there's also a couple cool games in there as well, such as longest drive. In the past, we've done longest drive with with a wiffle ball. We get them closest to the pin. There's also be dice roll as well. So if you're looking to sign up for that, want to play some golf, go onto the website and check it out. And if you got a partner you want to play with, or maybe you got a group of four you want to play with, and you want to divide yourselves up into two, you're absolutely welcome to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun time, and Steven and I played together. Obviously, I held Steven down a little bit too much, and we didn't really make it too far in that.
I'm not that good. I'm not great either. Don't worry. We had the same score with you and me compared to me and the other guy I joined last minute. So
Yeah.
don't feel too bad about it. Just feel awful about it.
Yeah, and then obviously you also get to watch Joe Reese dominate like he's playing in the PGA. Always getting.
He did not walk away with the most recent tournament.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, no. I believe it was his. It was his teammates. Let me look this info up real quick. I believe it was his teammate who won this. So
That is news to me. I did not know that. I thought Joe Reese was definitely gonna sweep the grounds again and get another victory on his sheet once again, because he's done it twice now.
yeah, he won two of the previous golf tournaments in a row. I'm trying to look it up. I'm pretty sure it was his teammate from the bad news dingers that won this one. So if I'm able to find it, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I will just sit here looking stupid.
Sure. In the meantime, though, I'll remind everybody about what's happening in the winter 2023 schedule. We've got the Turkey Trot and the CN Series. There was an email sent out. If your captains will figure those out, so make sure you talk to your captains about those dates if you want to play that. I don't have a whole lot of insight about the Turkey Trot and the potluck and how that's going to go down. Originally, it was going to be during the week of Thanksgiving, but I think a lot of people have family plans during that time. So happy Thanksgiving if we don't get to that. And then also the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby will be taking place on December 3rd in the morning at the very same location that we always do the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby. We're getting into winter time. It'll be cold. Daylight savings just came around, so went back an hour. It's already like dark, and it's only 4:48 as we're recording this. So make sure you have your clock set and get ready for the cold, because it's coming, baby.
Yeah, I mean, cold is a very strong word for living in California. As you know, you've been to I've been to Chicago in the wintertime, and you've been to Green Bay in the wintertime to see a football game. So you know some real cold. Some people don't know as much about that real cold California wise,
Oh
but
yeah, when you have the wind chill in your face and you can't feel anything, -10 degree chill wind chill, that is real cold, man.
yeah, it definitely is. But you know we'll do expect things to get a little bit colder as we go on. So just be ready, for it, and be prepared, be properly dressed, and maybe there'll be a hot chocolate night some night, like one of the last weeks or something. Who knows?
But that would be cool. Get a little hot chocolate going and
Or hot.
or yeah, if you're get some extra ingredients in there. Well, we are basically at the end of our program. We talked about the awards, talked about week 2. Week 3 is coming up. Some other things happening in the wiffle ball world is the MLW World Series that is happening in Atlanta, Georgia, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They just had their pre-show go up this past week on Friday. If you want to check that out, they had some special guests on there. They talked to a lot of those players. I know you have a little bit more insight about what that is, and they haven't posted the first game yet, I believe, but that'll be up there very, very soon.
Yeah, this one's taking place in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The actual event actually already happened. This was one they actually sold tickets to, and actually for the first time, really, for an MLW game, they were able to see it live. They were able to see a series live, especially the World Series is pretty nuts. So that's already happened in real time. But in terms of video posting, that'll be coming out within the next coming weeks. As well as we'll have some SoCal videos coming up soon. I don't know how much we talk about the All-Star game. I was captain of the All-Star game, and I did all right in that. So especially pitching wise, hitting wise was a different story. But then we also they'll be having more videos of that coming out soon. If you guys want to watch those and just see other styles of wiffle ball, I'm sure at some point there'll be some other fast pitch videos coming up soon. But I mean things have slowed down wiffle ball wise around the country, but we here we're still going strong, and I think things are still going good here. So we're gonna continue playing. We're gonna continue seeing everybody each week, and we're gonna continue doing this podcast. Whether there might be some stuff where we have some people, one of us gone, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I won't announce it this week, but next week we'll have some news for the podcast in terms of how those episodes are going to be going down a little bit. But yes, I think that video should be fun. MLW's having a live crowd for the first time in their history as a league together, which would be crazy to have that crowd aspect being a part of those videos, which is awesome. I'll be rooting for one of those teams. I won't say who, but we'll see who wins ends up winning that series. They have a schedule on their Instagram that they have about what days those videos are coming out. So that'll be very exciting to see who comes out on top of that. I know we are following a lot of great stories in that league because it's not the same group of guys as the previous seasons, and it's a younger, interesting group that's playing at this World Series.
Yes, some younger, some older. I mean, one team you have the youngest team, we have the youngest player in the league, and on that same team you have the oldest player in the league. So it's a good mixture of stuff, some new faces.
Certainly. Well, I think we've finished up with what we've got here on episode 30. Obviously, this is an interesting milestone to have 30 episodes all in total on a YouTube channel. Being able to knock these out every single week. We've been almost doing this almost about a year now, which is pretty crazy. Almost more than a year, I believe. Again, thank you to everybody who's been able to watch these episodes and always keep in support and watching them as much as possible. We will always keep rolling these out to you, as Steven mentioned earlier, as what we do. And obviously, sometimes we'll have some schedule issues, but we'll figure those out as we go on, and we'll keep you guys updated on what happens as we get here into week 3 and beyond with everything that's happening in OC Wiffle Ball and the Wiffle Ball world.
Yeah, we'll keep chugging along here. This podcast has been going. First uploaded was March 12th of 2023, so just either under or just over 9 months ago. So we're gonna keep it rolling, keep it going, and bore your guys' mind with us talking about our own team. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll keep
That's what
going.
happens. That's what happens when you win. You get to talk about your own team. It is kind of nice.
It is kind of nice, but then everybody else is like, "Oh, these guys, roll your eyes," type of thing.
Yeah, Tyler just looks for the part where he's talking about the Beat Shitty Bombers.
His transcripts, yeah, that's right. Tyler Moore. So he'll be keeping an eye out on that. But I put this timestamps as well, so people can see what exactly we're talking about. So hopefully that is also helping a lot of viewers as well as they're watching these videos. But once again, thank you very much. Episode 30. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we go on our business this rest of this Sunday?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, this has been Justin Lee, Stephen Hayden, episode 30 of That Scuffed Up. We shall see you guys episode 31 next week, and we'll check in back with you guys very, very soon.
Yeah, I'm going to keep these for the next few seasons, so good luck.